Welcome to Brian's Action Figure Reviews, and we're here with episode 41 of Retro Wrestle Chat. How is Tubbs this weekend?
All good, buddy.
So, how was your Valentine's Day?
Yeah, just quiet. You know what I mean? You know yourself with kids in the house and lockdown and all that kind of stuff doesn't
I
matter.
actually don't.
But you don't know that, you know. But yeah, it can teeter up and down. Thankfully today it didn't teeter that much. So it was actually nice to grand old time.
So, Tubbs, tell us what is our match this week. Tell the viewers what our match is. I know.
Huh?
Tell the viewers what the match is for today.
I shall tell them. Our match this week is not so long ago. It's Charlotte Flair versus Asuka at WrestleMania 34 for the SmackDown Women's title. So yeah, I mean, look, I said I picked it, so I mean, obviously, you know, I picked it because I enjoyed the match, or whatever. But yeah, I'm interested to hear where your stance lies.
Well, like as I said at the end of the show last week, my main memory from this match is one of disappointment.
Now, can I ask you a question? Is it one of disappointment for the entire match, or just the outcome and so forth?
Probably the outcome and the finish more than anything else.
Yeah.
And probably the build as well. But yeah, I think this match kind of signaled the beginning of the end for the Asuka character, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those things where, like, I mean, you knew. Look, it was it 34? So that was, I'm trying to think, fucking, what are we on now? 36, 37, 37.
2 or 3 years ago, anyway, wasn't it?
It was 2-3 years ago. So Charlotte was like, you know, even the year after she was inserted into the main event with Ronda and Becky. So Charlotte was that wrestler that, like, in the company's eyes, was the top tier talent. So yeah, I'm not shocked by the outcome, but the outcome. Should we just get to the outcome right now before we get to the match?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we'll go with the last question we normally ask at the very beginning. We'll change it up. Did you think? Obviously, you weren't a fan of the outcome. Did you think you obviously didn't like the outcome of this match?
I think the finish was absolutely shocking, if I'm honest, because whatever about the figure 4 or whatever.
The figure 8.
Figure 8, yeah, it's the figure 4 with her standing on her fucking back or whatever. But there was no build to it. She didn't weaken the limbs or anything like that. And Asuka pretty much looked like a chump with how quick she tapped out, I thought.
Well, I mean, look, as I said, I mean, I'm only going back to, like, I mean, I remember when I first watched it, and I mean, I have to give Charlotte props, man. She held her entire body weight up in one hand because the other hand seemed to be fucked up and buckled. From earlier on, which we'll talk about in a while. For me, I wasn't pissed off at the finish. I mean, it came out of, you know what I mean? Because, you know, her other big finisher is the spear. That's like Roman Reigns and all those guys. So when she hit her with that, it seemed to have taken all the wind out of Asuka. But Asuka battled right up until the end. But she did, I mean, when she whipped that in, when she locked it in, it was game over. And I can understand why yourself and a lot of other people were annoyed with the finish. And I'll tell you why I was annoyed with the finish of this match was because it ruined Asuka's undefeated streak. Now, look, undefeated streaks, we've seen it with Taker and everything, they have to come to an end. But I would have been okay with this ending the way it did if it had gone on. You know, if they had kept building Asuka and then kept Flair as a big deal champion.
No, it was kind of like,
I'm just looking there, right? I'm not even joking. Whatever way I cut my fucking beard, it looks weird. But anyway, we'll go back. But yeah, I just found, because like the week after this on SmackDown, Charlotte lost it to fucking Carmella on a cash-in. So there was no rhyme or reason. You could have Asuka win and then have Carmella cash in. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't have made any difference, because then you would have had a story chase. But yeah, so I think we're both in agreement that, like, we don't think the right person won this match. You know, do you ever watch a channel called Wrestle Talk?
Yes, I
You've ever
think
seen it?
I'm aware of it. Yeah.
They have this. They have this thing every time. You obviously every time WWE like um push Charlotte Flair into like like the top spot. It's this. They have this program where it's called the Omni Flair, which is basically like where like she's in like 6 or 7 segments and she only needs to be in one, but for some reason she's in 6 or 7. But that's the. I mean that's the company though, man. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like I look at like I used to say the same thing about John Cena and Roman Reigns, but then if you flip the shoe on the other foot and your boss said to you was like, "I want to give you 6 segments, and we're going to give you a title and put you on top of the card." You're not going to fucking say no. So you know what I mean? It becomes that thing where you're going like, "Oh fucking hell, yeah, brilliant," and that's when you turn the masses the on the wrestler, not the product. If you get me, you
Mm.
know,
But like, even
it's a weird one.
like she tapped out pretty simply, I have to say, and then like she didn't get back any heat. They buried her even further by getting her to go over and get a microphone, say congratulations or whatever she said at looking into the match.
Oh,
So out of character, it was wrong. It pissed me off
it
so much when I watched it the first time.
that was the go on. Sorry.
It pissed me off so
Hmm?
much when I watched it the first time because I was a big fan of NXT at the time, and I had followed her since she came into the company, and I'd seen her choke out Bailey, Sasha, Becky, everyone else, and literally the most dominant women's champion there had been since God knows when, and then just and it's not even that they didn't even carry it on after
Um,
WrestleMania. Like you said, she never got
yeah,
back.
I mean, how long did it take for their feud or their rematch to happen? It was almost fucking what was it? Almost 2 3 years later before they even got back in a ring.
Then
I
there's
mean, I
no
could
point. Like,
probably be wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me below. But yeah, and even at that point, it didn't matter. Do you know what I mean? It was so the product in itself was whitewashed by that point.
the,
Do you know what I
the
mean? It
only
was
the only
really in
way
general, it was just
the only reason Asuka got back into the title hunt was they didn't want both titles going into the main event of WrestleMania the following year. They had to get one off of Becky
yeah.
to give her the
Mm.
main belt.
No, that was yeah. It's crazy when you think about it, isn't it? Like it's like yeah, that's right. She won it off Asuka the year after, before Mania.
No, fucking
Oh, that makes it worse when you think about it.
Asuka beat Becky
Didn't
at the
she? She
Royal
won.
Rumble, wasn't it? And then Becky won the Royal Rumble.
No, Asuka was the champion. She beat Becky, but then Charlotte beat Asuka. If you remember, because Charlotte was then it went in as
Yeah,
two
yeah,
belts
yeah.
in against Rousey and Becky.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Christ above, man. But anyway, like we're rambling about that. Like, just get to the match. That's why we're here.
Like the match was excellent, I have to say.
So
Take away the
yeah,
last 5 minutes.
it was a top tier match.
That's all I'd say. Is take away the last
I
5 minutes.
mean,
It's
and
crap.
and one thing I will say about this match as well is that crazy enough, looking back at it and really kind of, because obviously when you're watching it live at Mania, you're watching the stuff that's going on. So you do miss things and you miss kind of because you're caught up in the spectacle of the event and it's long, so you're watching wrestling all night. So you do miss things. But on a rewatch, looking back at it this week, it was I found I didn't realize how much of this this match Asuka took. Like she was dominant. Like she was the more dominant in this match. So which kind of hinders the very end of it, really. When you were saying about her getting on the mic, going, "Oh, Charlotte was ready for Asuka." No, you beat her around every inch of that ring, and countered like Charlotte Flair. Let's get it out of the way. Charlotte Flair did a moonsault off the top rope, right? And it's Charlotte Flair. We've said it on the show before. Charlotte has an awkward landing on her moonsault because she never comes down flat. It's always kind of like knees and
Knees
arms
first.
first or whatever way she lands. But the landing on this was perfect because she was caught straight into the Asuka lock. Like it was such a good move because of the outcome of the reversal, And this is what I loved about this match was that Asuka had a counter for everything Charlotte like threw at her. So it was weird. Like as I said, it was mad that near the end of it, it was like Charlotte kind of like hit her with the spear and then took the win.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It was like it was right at the end. It was like she caught her, and she knew she had to lock her in story aspects because I mean, I couldn't get over how much of this match. Like I thought it was. I remembered it as like a 50-50 split match. They both threw it as much as they, but I couldn't get over rewatching it how much of the match Asuka was in control of.
Mm.
I was like, Jesus, then like, which was silly. When you look at it from a booking standpoint, right? They booked her to look so strong against, in their eyes, their top female superstar, only to take it away right at the end and
Yeah,
have her go on the mic and say stupid shit.
that's why
That
it's
part
pissed me
wrecked
off
my
so
head
much.
because I do agree with you. It did in a lot of ways derail Asuka's push going forward. I mean, she didn't just plummet to the bottom straight away, but she did go down a
But she
good
started
chunk.
falling away after that.
Yeah, she was never the same performer on TV after that match.
Like,
And to see it again, Brian, Rhea Ripley last year, she fought Charlotte at WrestleMania, and Charlotte beat her.
mm.
She hasn't been the same since either.
But like I was going to say, on the same, wasn't it on the same WrestleMania that Nakamura lost Styles as well?
Yeah,
And
it was
the two Japanese wrestlers just basically turned into evil
Rumble
foreigners
winners.
after that.
It wasn't even two Japanese wrestlers. It was the two Royal Rumble winners. It's
Yeah,
so fucking bizarre, you
but
know.
they just went full WWE and then me no speaking English, that's your character now.
Yeah, I mean, I like it would have been better. Like, I mean, I didn't mind the Hulk thing at the end because that's a sign of respect. We've seen that with wrestlers putting on like like masterclass matches. Like, you know what I mean? I do like seeing that stuff. I do like the respect level that's shown between two people. Then they're not face and heel. They're just two really good wrestlers that went out and battled, and one came up short, one won. But it was the whole doing the thing like Charlotte was ready for Asuka thing, and I was kind of. And then when I heard it, I was kind of going like, you took 70% of the match. She got lucky at the end. She hit you with the spear off of like a reversal. She ducked your move and came back. So she got lucky with the win, realistically, man. You know? But yeah, it was just a weird one because I do love this match. I think this is a top tier match. When you think back at it in WrestleMania 34, I'm trying to think of the exact. It was around 30. So about 3 years ago, right? It did this match was genuinely, and you look at it, the other matches on this card, and you said it yourself, you would Nakamura and you would AJ Styles and everything, and this was one of the show stealing matches of the card because the women in and around the 3 year bracket they were getting pushed. There was a rise up, and the women were putting on better programs for the majority, not all, but there was a select few of like maybe 6 to 8 females.
The four horsemen, basically.
Yeah, but still, like, do you know what I mean? And this isn't even including the Ronda Rousey thing that came in the year after. This is just you could see that there was a stable of females that were being pushed, but they were genuinely putting on better programs and better matches than most of the guys. And do you know what I mean? And they were actually coming out and shining. And this for me was one of those matches I was like, they outshone the lads on this show with how good this match was because they went at it. There was no brand panties. There was no pillow fights. This was like you could see some of the stuff,
later, which is always good.
And there was no Nia Jax screaming my hole on fucking Raw.
What
it was none of that shit.
Anyway.
It was just two thoroughbred females. And I know the world shits on fucking Charlotte Flair because of her lineage and because of the pushes she gets. But I will say that she is there for a reason though. She is a top tier talent, man. Just the girl is she's fantastic in the ring. I mean, I lay on my chest on that one, like, I genuinely do every time I watch her. Now, everything she does, promos wise, everything else, I might not be a fan, but she can go on that ring. She can stand up with the best of them in that ring, like, which is why I think in a strange way, I hated that she won the match, but I think she was the best opponent for Asuka that year.
At the time, yeah.
100%. I think she was. That was the high profile female match that year, in my eyes.
I don't like. We can go on about the match or whatever. I don't think this was the right time to take her undefeated streak away, though.
Oh God, no. I mean, I think we're both in agreement that the finish of it was the part that points off this match.
Hmm.
You know, it genuinely was. It was such a good match, and this was. I mean, look, I'm not saying like, oh, this was like fucking, you know, Dave Meltzer's like 12 out of 10 match or whatever. You know that kind of thing. I'm not saying that, but I could argue that this is genuinely up there with some of the better matches. You know, and not just WWE. This is a stellar match because it wasn't like the story they told, and because, do you know what I mean, you had undefeated streak against title, and they're always good. I mean, you remember you had and it made for a great match regardless. It was WrestleMania 26 against HBK and Taker when it became career versus career. Sometimes those stipulations, depending on the people within the match, you can put those stipulations and throw them around, but it depends on the superstars or the characters you put within the match and within that fight. And I think this one worked. I just think the ending needed to be different. Like, Asuka should have won that match.
So what about spots then? Your worst spots?
The worst, not even spots. Things that bothered. One thing that bothered me was earlier in the match when Charlotte Flair, Asuka fucking took Charlotte Flair clean off the apron and out to the outside. And she was down, like she was lying down holding her arm and everything. So I'm assuming that's in and around where the arm kind of played into the match. But then the ref jumped out of the ring to check on Charlotte, and he was kind of like this to Asuka. I'm going, but shouldn't you be in there counting right now? Like, you should be in that match. This isn't like a false count anywhere. And the reason I say that is because 5 minutes later, there was one of the better spots in the match was that suplex from the apron to the outside. Horrible.
Charlotte.
Now, and that, if you look at it, was a worse bump than the one that Charlotte took 5 minutes before that, and she was out off the apron. And he didn't check in her then. He didn't check in Asuka. He just started counting. I was going, that's fucking stupid. Like, you know, I was like, oh, this is a stupid thing that really, really bothered me when I was watching it.
I have a spot, and I want to talk about it when you're finished.
But the major thing that bothered me was at the very, very end of it, was the whole Asuka thing. Not even not even her losing, because I was kind of annoyed at that. But I mean, you know, that's pro wrestling. Do you know what I mean? You always kind of go, oh, she should have won, you know, or he should have won. But the match is solid, and there's regardless, you'll enjoy the match. But it was the whole thing afterwards with the whole, you know, she was ready for Asuka, and it was like, it felt so force-fed. I was going, man, that's so stupid. Why have her say that? Like, you know, it's just so crap.
They basically made her bury herself, basically.
Yeah. There was a couple of times there, like, but they've had her do that many times, man, before. Do you know what I mean? And and it's not even that. When these guys came down, I mean, like even the entrances, Charlotte had basically Triple H's entrance, the female version Triple H's entrance at this, which was what I thought was pure dope. Like, it was really good. And Asuka's entrance was so cool as well. She's charismatic as hell anyway. You know what I mean? With the way she comes to the ring and carries herself. There was a couple of, you know, like moves in it that, like, you know, were kind of like, okay, you know, but it was like, but there was nothing in ring wise that bothered me about this match.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought these guys, like, there was so much that I loved about what they were doing. That I was kind of going, all right, anything that I don't like in ring style is just me nitpicking. It's just, but I found other sections. Oh, and the major one that bothered the shit out of me, I understand why it was being done in the match.
You're not taking it.
Is this where you're going?
I'm taking this one.
Okay, I think I know where you're going with this, so I'll let you jump into it.
My major, like, this will knock 2 points off the score for me easily because of this. This, as you said, was a streak versus title match, the most important match on the card for the women in the whole company. And twice, WWE felt necessary to cut away from the fucking match in the middle of the action to show John Cena sitting in the fucking crowd taking a somebody's fucking milkshake or whatever the hell that was. I don't care about John Cena versus The Undertaker when I'm watching this match. Do that during the fucking intervals or whatever. why in the middle of one of the most important matches on the card do they cut away to show Cena in the crowd? It just fucking
Sitting there watching the match.
pissed me off so much at the time and again today.
The part of it that annoyed me, because there was 3 moments.
Twice,
Correctly,
wasn't it?
they cut away twice. But the one that annoyed me the most was when the girls were in the ring and they were doing their hug thing, and then Charlotte, like, you know what I mean, kind of was like, just, you know, give Asuka the ring to celebrate, or just to kind of, you know, take it all in, because it was her first Mania, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, so she was like, Joe, you have the ring, take it all in. So she's walking down and she holds the title up, and then a ref just comes blazing down past her, and then while Asuka's in the ring, they cut to a massive wide shot to fucking show a referee running across the thing, jumping the barrier, and cut straight to John Cena to tell him, oh, you know, Taker's here. Oh, really? And then Cena gets up, jumps the barrier, and runs out while Asuka's in the fucking ring. I thought it was so disrespectful to
Horribly
these 2 women.
disrespectful, yeah.
It just put on a clinic. Like, you could have chose a different match to have those spots happen.
You didn't
Like,
need,
I know it was coming
need,
on right after it, but
it didn't need to be in a match. It didn't need to be near the match. It could have been done backstage.
you could have cut away to Cena in the middle of it. I mean, and I know they did. Between matches they cut away to him, but I couldn't understand why. As you said, this was a really big match. This was a really important match. It was for a world title. So why do you have to have Cena? I mean, it's not Cena's fault. It's the fucking production. Do you know what I mean? They just decided, no, we'll do it here and
but
here.
like, it's a pure WWE thing, and still at that time, pure disrespectful towards the women, because do you think they would do that to Ronda Rousey? No, they fucking would not.
No, they wouldn't. But why not do it? Like, why not do it in fucking another match? Do you know what I mean? You didn't have to do it there. You could. There was if I remember WrestleMania 34, there was a lot of bad matches on that fucking card. Could have cut away at any one of them. Do you know what I mean? It really did. I agree with you, and I'm glad that you jumped in there and was like, I'm taking it, because the 2 of us were thinking on the same page on that one.
Like, yeah, other than the obvious result, the result we talked about already, there's no point going over that again. Good spots for me. Asuka's in-ring technical ability is amazing. The reversal.
Sorry, go back.
I said her in-ring technical ability is second to none.
Yeah,
I think
top notch.
The 2, I think there was 2, maybe 3 reversals into first. I think it was it the moonsault where she kind of went into the Hell's Gate.
It was a variation of the Asuka lock, I think.
The one
where she had her.
The triangle.
It was like a reverse. She locked her in with the legs in the head and kind of pulled her in.
Yeah. And there was another one as well. Her submissions, her transitions are just flawless, unbelievable, and yeah. So like, her ability alone is worth it for watching the match as well. I also think Charlotte hits an amazing spear, and I don't like really.
She did.
Giving her props, because I don't like her in general, but she hits a better spear than Goldberg does easily.
But I do think, because I mean, as you said that, she does hit an amazing spear, and I do think, and that's why I think the outcome annoyed me that Asuka lost, but the way it happened didn't annoy me, because that spear did look legit. It looked like, as much as Asuka had answers for everything, that one took the wind out of herself. I mean, it really did look like it had taken something out of her when she hit it, and that's what the fucking spear is supposed to do, right? It's that kind of a move. It's supposed to take you off your guard and off your feet, and really kind of make you kind of regroup. And I think that's kind of what they did. They did well, because Asuka did look like she had been kind of, oh no, I'm in trouble now. She was convincingly showing that, like, and then before you knew it, she was in the figurehead. But yeah, there was a lot of, I agree with you. There was a lot of the reversals in this match. I found there was reversals. Asuka more than Charlotte had reversals for everything.
Yeah.
She had counters and she had an answer for most things. Do you know what I mean? And even at one point, which led to the part where I bitched about the ref, was when, Flair used to do the thing. Michaels did similar, where they throw him into the corner and they do the spin up over the top rope. And then Charlotte tried to pull in and hit her in the midsection. But Asuka just dodges out of the way and kicks her in the fucking head, and then sends her flying. I thought it was very well. It was a very well produced match. these two worked really well together, and they always have, even in match their later matches. They had a match recently. I think.
I do think so. I do think Asuka and Charlotte individually both mesh better with Becky Lynch in matches than each other, if you get me.
Well, I mean, I do think they have great chemistry together, but I do agree with you, like Charlotte and Becky, and it's a great credit to Charlotte and Asuka, because, and you know me, I'm a massive Becky fan. I love Becky Lynch. I loved her even before she had the man gimmick and she fucking blew up, like, you know. I loved her fucking for years. But she wouldn't be, out of all the women on the roster, she wouldn't be like technically the best.
No, I still think Asuka is probably the best of all of them technically.
But it's like, you look at Cesaro. Cesaro is like pound for pound one of the best wrestlers in WWE today, but he just doesn't get a chance to showcase it. Now he is at the moment with Daniel Bryan. It's a match these two guys are having are fucking unbelievable. But I think that's the thing. Asuka needs to, and she was. I mean, NXT was a product of that. She showcased it for an entire year, where she just took out everyone. And it, do you know what I mean? So it's not weird. Like, it's not going to be like WWE going to find it hard to make Asuka like a top star. She fucking was, but the main roster does that. But yeah, my top spots in this match were the moonsault into the I'd say Asuka lock. It was a submission. You know, she caught her basically in a submission hold off the moonsault. I thought it was unbelievable. The Spanish fly off the top rope, I thought was really fucking good. And it was a weirdly placed one as well, because Charlotte is taller and she was on the top rope. Asuka was on the middle rope. So it was a very weird placement, but man, they landed it so flat. It was so good the way they both got up and over. I was going, man, that could have went all hells wrong, but it actually landed so perfectly nice.
It looked so awkward at the build-up.
Which?
It looked so awkward when they were setting it up.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte's leg slipped at one point, but you know what I mean? You know herself, top rope moves, man. You know, they can go either way, perfect or messy, you know. But believe it or not, my favorite spot in the whole match was that suplex off the apron to the outside. It looked horrible in the best way. Like, they both, you could see, like, even in they showed like a slow motion replay, and you could genuinely see Charlotte hit the floor. Yeah, over the Snickers level, but when she hit the ground, you could see her, she bounced, like, and she literally came up off the canvas or off of the ground. I was like, wow, there was impact on that. Like, so that was my favorite one. There was a lot of like little kind of cool reversal spots that I loved as well throughout the match. I mean, it was just this was a really, really solid match. It really was. Like,
you selected the match, so I'm going to give you first shot on the score.
Yeah, I'm going to go straight into it. I'm going to give it an 8, because the 2 points I knocked off for the stupid shit with Cena and the fucking ending shit with the microphone and the stupid ref gonna fucking not doing his job and 5 minutes later doing his job, you know. But in ring quality, man, I was entertained from start to finish in this match. These two went out and just put on a clinic. They really did. Like, for me anyway, as a fan watching it, I was like, this is, and it didn't feel sloppy at any point. You know, the actual in-ring work didn't feel sloppy. Like, 1 or 2 leg slips on the ropes and things like that, but for the majority, it felt like it flowed really well throughout. And I loved that Asuka was made to look strong in the match. Not so much at the very, very end, but in the actual match, she took more than Charlotte, which is really, realistically, you know, it's what a baby face is supposed to do, isn't it? It's supposed to come out flurrying, man, you know, and the heel is supposed to get the upper hand and fucking be a heel. And for me, this is what this match did. You know, Asuka had an answer for her, you know, and everything. But then she slipped up and got caught, do you know what I mean? And the heel took advantage. So
I'm going to give it 6.
Well, do you know what? I'll be honest. It's a little higher than I thought you were going to give it. I thought it was going to be under the 5.
It was between 5 and 6 for me, but 6 because, yeah, there was just so much stuff that annoyed me. I wasn't fully entertained by it because too many things got in the way of my enjoyment. So 6 is pretty high for me, I think, on this one.
Can I ask you a question? Um, did did a lot of those marks come off for the actual in-ring match, or was it all the shenanigans that was around it?
Well, I can't say that because it's like it's an all-round experience,
Okay,
You can't enjoy one way if something isn't annoying you from the other.
Well, because for me, that's where my points, I lost points on it, was genuinely because it was the stuff with Cena, cutting away to Cena, and giving Asuka the microphone at the end, and then I found rewatching it, I was losing points off of my score due to other shit, how it was being produced around it. If you get me, it was weird. Because the in-ring stuff I loved.
I'd also say like this is probably the one match where knowing who won it made me a little bit bored during the middle because I didn't.
Okay, maybe yeah. Well, I mean that's fair. Do you know what I mean? Because I mean I've watched matches where, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, if I don't like a wrestler, we try our best to just to watch it. But at the end of the day, we don't have to be these guys that are like, I have to be down in the middle of this. We're watching it for our fucking opinion, and that's the point of it, you know. Like if you give me a Ryback match, I'm not going to sit there and go, yeah, man, this is top star match, because I hate Ryback. I fucking.
Well, now that you said it.
Oh my God, did you pick a Ryback match?
God no.
Oh God, yeah, I was going.
Had you worried there though?
I was like, oh man, give it to me.
I had two, right?
What you got?
What I eventually settled on. I just have to check if it's available. If you give me a sec.
Yeah, go on.
So, from Ring of Honor, and making their debut on the channel, both guys. From Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, I think it is called. CM Punk versus Raven in a dog collar match.
I do feel like I remember this match. But I mean, I can't honestly say I have. If I have seen it, I haven't seen it in years, but I am aware of it.
It's free to watch on YouTube for anyone who wants to catch up with it before we watch it.
Yeah,
but
might as well. We're going to be reviewing it next week, so you know.
They are two of my favorite guys from when they were wrestling, so it'll be an interesting rewatch. CM Punk's never been on the channel before. Interesting, 42 episodes in.
Yeah, that's a weird one. And do you know what I realized as well today? You know who we've never had on a wrestler we've never reviewed a match for?
Randy Orton.
Have we done an Orton match? Okay. And The Rock.
Actually. Or The Rock.
We've never done The Rock either.
That's because he hasn't got any good matches. Boom, we're out.
There's some good ones in there, man. I guarantee you I could find a good match with The Rock. But yeah, so we're gonna have to right those wrongs over the next few weeks since we're closing up to like the 50 mark.
I have an idea for the 50th match already, but yeah.
I'm assuming that's gonna fall on you anyway to do it that way.
Yeah, you usually miss the landmarks.
I do. I usually am the one that misses the landmark numbers.
So yeah, guys, thanks very much for watching. Go check out that match yourself. You can find it on Google. That's what I had to do, unfortunately. And yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. Please drop your suggestions for future reference so we don't have to pick them. So see you later, guys. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.